Oh, that's good. I was going to let this channel go, folks. But the state of the world that we live in today, I swear it's just getting crazier by the hour. You know? That and my wife is tired of me venting to her all the time, so I'm gonna talk to you guys. What are we gonna get into today? Well, we have to get into Tyler Robinson and the Charlie Kirk assassination. Because it's too mind-boggling not to talk about. My name is Cribs. Welcome back to Disinformation. So first off, who in the shit believes any of this? I mean, the narrative that they're trying to spin is so absolutely incredibly dumb. If this was a movie, I would have left 10 minutes into it. Because the entire thing just doesn't add up, dude. And honestly, I was going to let it go. I was going to let the entire story go. And then what was it, about a week ago, they released the texts. And it just hooked me back in. Because it's so, maybe that's the plan. You know? Maybe they make something so absolutely insane and twisted and fake that it's just like, you got to talk about it. Which just keeps the clicks going, you know? I don't know, man, but we are definitely going to dive into it. What are the things that don't make sense? Let's just talk about those right quick. The roof location, where Charlie was assassinated from, where Tyler Robinson allegedly was, which I don't doubt that he wasn't on that roof. Looks like the dude that jumped off. Why wasn't his security detail on that roof? Okay, that's so super weird. And when the shooting happened, obviously we have this George Zen character with a colorful background, mind you. He's been in 9/11, the Boston bombings, and then I think he called in another bombing. I don't know if it was in Utah or not, but that's what I'm recollecting. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then supposedly he was supposed to break down this gun. If anybody has ever broken down a gun, a pistol takes a couple minutes. A rifle, for an expert to do so, takes a lot longer than a couple minutes, man. And this guy supposedly only had a screwdriver. Well, you need more tools than a screwdriver, folks. Do it yourself. Go to a local gun store and ask them to break down a 30-06. And that's what they said. They said it was a 30-06 that he used. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll get into that as well. What else doesn't make sense? Well, the texts, dude. The texts are insane. And we're going to read the entirety of those texts, at least what they fed us. What else doesn't make sense? Him changing his clothes, and then there's pictures of him at Dairy Queen wearing a mix of the clothes that he supposedly changed. Him reassembling the gun that they found in the woods. And then, of course, I think dare I say, the pun intended, the smoking gun of it all that makes it, a conspiracy theory or just completely just dysfunctional story is the bullet. A 30-06 bullet, they're telling us, that didn't go through Charlie Kirk all the way. It got stopped by his neck bones. It is so insane to sit there and say that. Again, if you know somebody with 30-06, or you go to your local gun store range, have them shoot one. That bullet in that casing has so much gunpowder, it is not going to get stuck. It's laughable when I say it out loud, because it just, for them to come out and say, yeah, a 30-06 bullet, just got stuck in his neck bones. Bro, it blows through animals. It leaves a 4-inch hole in the back. Every time. In the history of shooting this fucking gun and those bullets, I would imagine it's never happened. There's a 0% chance. Hence why we had to bring the show back, because it's so appalling that they would actually, and maybe they are, there's a very small percentage of people who have never shot a gun that is going to say, yeah, I could believe that. I could believe that. And I could believe that. And yeah, people talk like that. 22-year-olds. I know 22-year-olds that talk like. I don't. I know a lot of people, dude. I've worked in a lot of industries. I've met people all over the world. I've shot. I have a 30-6 downstairs. I've shot it all my life. It's never gotten lodged in anything I've ever shot. Not that I've ever shot a human. But I can imagine, you know, the little neck bones back here? They're not that strong. Come on. So let's get into... I have to talk about the text because that's what brought me back in this whole damn thing. And honestly, that's the reason why I'm doing this video. Because it's just insane, man. So yeah, let's just read it. Let's just read them, and you can make your own judgment, right? So this is the full record of a series of text messages exchanged with the alleged gunman on the day of the shooting, which the roommate slash furry boyfriend, I think he's a furry, that's what everyone's saying. It's a very interesting relationship. His roommate, we know that for a fact. Robinson, drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. Very interesting. Very interesting you'd have this. When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. The roommate, his boyfriend, furry. What? Question marks, like 17 of them. You're joking, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Robinson, I am still okay, my love, but I am struck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home. But I gotta grab the rifle still, to be honest. I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you, the roommate. You weren't the one that did it, right? Question mark across the board. Robinson, I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, George Zen. Then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point, interesting word, shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet. Almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Not that he ever tried. I'd imagine he never tried to get a hold of Charlie to work out his hatred. Allegedly. Robinson, if I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they had moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car, interesting choice of word, parked right by it. I think they've already swept the spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. Vehicle, not car. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back my grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it would never trace to me. I worry about prints I had to leave in a bush where I'd change outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the expletive. Will I explain losing it to my old man? The only thing I have left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. The fact that he has so many details, bro. So many details in this whole thing is just unbelievable. Remember how I was engraving the bullets? The expletive messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UW on Fox News, I might have had a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really expletive sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think it was a $2,000 scope. Robinson. Again, there's been no reply at this point. It's just Robinson keeping on. Delete this exchange. Robinson. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The Fed's releasing a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me RN right now, not answering. Robinson. Since Trump got into office, my dad, has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of the neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Robinson, you are all I worry about, my love. Roommate, finally responding after, you know, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take interviews or make any comments. If the police ask you any questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. And that's what we were released. We got the who, what, where, when, why. We have very limited exchange literally from the furry boyfriend. So that makes sense, right? Obviously, if my wife if my wife texted me saying she killed somebody, I'm saying, what the fuck did you just do? What the fuck is going on? Who are you? Because this is not the person that I'm with. I'm not just sitting there letting letting my wife just talk. It's a crazy, crazy thing that this is what we're being fed, dude. And I can't get over it. Unless they just know, like I said, there's a couple different scenarios here. Unless they just know that we're just gonna click it. We're gonna click it. We're gonna click it. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna read it. We're gonna talk about it. And that's what they want. Governor Croc of shit, maybe. Governor Cox, Spencer Cox, I believe, who has a shady past in its own. That's a whole nother show, dude. He comes out and says, we've got him. We've got the shooter. So confident in his words. Yep, confessed right away. Well, not really. He didn't really confess. He never confessed. You can't say you got him until he's proven guilty. Unless you're trying to convince people that you got him. You can't say that he confessed unless he confessed. Now, we all know that, especially the feds, they're corrupt as all shit. They always have been. They always will be. And honestly, if you just look at the Cash Patel interview between him and Joe Rogan when they were talking about Epstein, the fact that whenever they got into AI, it's like, I didn't know AI. I didn't know AI could look so real. Like, I don't know anything about that. You're the director of the FBI and you don't know AI could look that real, then maybe that's not the job for you. Maybe you need to find somebody a little bit more knowledgeable. Aside from the point, he's either plain stupid or he's just not the guy for the job, right? And then you got Dan Bongino, who I've always kind of liked on and off. He seemed like he wants to do good. You don't hear a lot from him. But he's going to have a book one day. I promise you that. He's going to have a book, and he's probably going to do a tell-all when he gets out of that. And he's going to be like, yeah, guys, listen, it's all corrupt. It is what it is. Try to do some good. You know, they set us down. And this is what I think really, truly happens when it comes to the feds. People may go to be in the FBI, or maybe they run for government office, and they really want to do well. Maybe they're a good standing up citizen. They want to do right for the people, represent them correctly. But you know what ends up happening? They get sat down in an office and they're told, no, you're not allowed to. You're going to be a puppet, and yes, you're going to do some good here and there, but at the end of the day, we're going to tell you what to do and say. And I truly believe that's what happens. So I would never want that job. You know. Going back to the case at hand in these texts, it's just fabricated. 22-year-olds don't talk this way. They don't say squad car. I don't even know if they say fucking lingering. As far as the gun that was used, it's 30-06. It takes a long time to break down a weapon. It doesn't use a screwdriver. I mean, you can pop out some of they're like little, what the hell they're called, but they're like little metal piercings that go through. You can pop them out with a screwdriver, but you still need Allen wrenches to unscrew things. So I don't buy that. Um, and when he jumps from the roof, which I do believe he was on the roof, I do believe that he jumped from the roof. I do believe that maybe he even had a gun. But you can't tell me that he broke that fucking thing down, reassembled it, put it back in the woods, which honestly, if you look at the map, and maybe we'll get into that at some point, and see how close he hit it in the woods. The whole thing just doesn't make. And then he went to Dairy Queen. He changed his clothes and all this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Thank God for Candace Owens, though, because she was biffles. She was biffles with Charlie Kirk. Besties, as they say. And she has a lot of resources, like Casciola. And she's not giving up on it, man. If you've been following her series, she's not doing that shit for clicks. You know that for fact. She wants to get down to it. And she even says, she's like, if Tyler Robinson did it, then I'll leave it alone. Everything says no to her gut. And I'm glad. I'm glad there's somebody on the ground, her team, boots on the ground, knocking on doors, gumshoe reporting, as they say. And I'm here for it. Because I'm just tired, just like you, of the fake, I hate saying it, fake news. But it's fake news. It's the fakest of news. You know, when you watch a movie, I was in law enforcement a long time. It's a cut and dry case when somebody gets stabbed, or murdered, and any like it usually is cut. And it's not a big conspiracy thing. And of course, I know this show's called Disinformation, but let's just be real, man. This doesn't make sense all the way. You got the distractions. You got the breaking down of a weapon that doesn't scientifically make sense. Using the tools that they said that he had. You have him going to Dairy Queen. You have him changing his clothes. How many times? You have the text that just doesn't make sense. Who, what, where, why. The confession. The whole thing. It's frustrating, is it not? And we're all in the same boat. At least anybody who cares. And then you have the small, I hope it's a small population where they're like, we believe it. What's the next episode on Netflix? I gotta go binge. I got Hulu. I got Hulu binge. I got a Netflix. I got a binge. It's frustrating, man. So I'm glad Candace Owens is on it. I think she's going to do great work. The bullet, though. The bullet, though. They're saying a 30-06 bullet got stopped in his neck. You're wanting to create conspiracy theorists, I think. Because nobody in their right mind believes that. Anybody who's shot a 30-06 will never believe that. Dude. I need more coffee, I think. So where do we go from here? You either believe it or you don't. You either just forget about it and go binge the Netflix. Or you just hope and pray that the right people involved are going to find the smoking gun that proves the feds wrong. Because there's just so much controversy around this thing, about this story in particular. I'm just guessing that the feds they're banking on a documentary in books to make money off of it. Because like, who goes into a job of working for the government and they can't believe it, right? Kash Patel can't sit there as a law enforcement officer who I'm sure shot plenty of guns, Dan Bundy. All these people involved are like, yeah, we believe it. Yeah, for sure. The bullet just got stuck in his neck. No. The Man of Steel. And I see the spin. Cool. Charlie Kirk, I didn't know the guy. I followed some of his content here and there. He had some really interesting points. I can't say that I followed him 100%. And only say that because, like I said, one, I didn't know him, and two, I didn't look at all of his content. You don't know anybody, really, you know? You can follow somebody, but he seemed like an upstanding American, patriotic, Christian, very good guy. Really. That was assassinated by somebody who didn't like where he was going, maybe? His beliefs? Was it a Christian thing? Maybe there was this Israel perspective. I'm not saying that Israel did it. I would never say that. But I'm saying when Netanyahu came out and he was just like, he loved the Jewish people. Look, I have a letter that says so. Within minutes of him getting shot, dude. It was either with him getting shot or him actually passing away. Seemed sus. Seemed a little sus. Then you had the whole Hamptons thing, which we'll get into in another show. It's just we're just digging into this thing, right? Where maybe there was something else going on at hand. Maybe with his company, Turning Point. Maybe there was something going on there. Maybe I did hear that he was creating his own little Doge department because there was missing monies. You're talking about this is millions and millions of dollars that maybe were going to use in a not a Charlie Kirk fashion. And he found out about it. There's a lot more to the story than just a 22-year-old who speaks like that shoots him from a rooftop that should have been guarded with a gun there's no way he broke down within a minute, where allegedly the bullet got stuck. A 30-06 bullet. No. Common sense. It is not so common. But no. Yeah, but no. It's absolutely insane for somebody to actually believe that. And I know there's a lot of people that do. But I refuse, which is why I'm bringing back this fucking show. Because I'm going to get the boys on. And we're going to dig in. And we're going to have a good fucking time doing it. Because this just does not make sense. And I'm tired of news that doesn't make sense. They need to be called out on it.